Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and it just so happened that I actually got the day off. My boss is having car trouble, so hopefully I might say some prayers for him. But today we've got some pretty big to talk about anyway, so it might be just a blessing in disguise. So while we're waiting for people to come on, I know it's a Monday. Anybody that comes on after this sees the replay, hit like, subscribe definitely if you like the content, and love your comments and share the videos. It really, really helps a lot. All right. Yeah, we got a lot of people work right now. Okay. Now, the title of this video is the Two-State Solution Act. Here we go. All right. It's not enough that they want the two-state solution. And I'm talking, you know, a lot of people that signed on, a lot of people that have been interested, like the UN, even Russia's been trying to help out. Biden has more than let the world know that he is so into a two-state solution. But now they had to go take it a step further, and Representative Levin, decided that he wanted to propose the Two-State Solution Act in the United States, a bill. Of all days he announced it, September 23rd, this month. That was the 4-year anniversary for the Woman of Revelation 12 sign. That was 4-year anniversary, and that was the day they decided to announce this act. So to me, I'm seeing some prophetic tones here, right? Hello, Five Flames. I am so glad you could at least stop by and say hello. You have a wonderful day too, honey. Hello, Mark. Good, good. Yes, I'm getting my caffeine too right about now. I know I said I wouldn't. I'd slow down. Okay, I slowed down a little. It's, yeah. Caffeine. Hello, Adrian. So glad to see you, darling. I'm so glad. Good morning. Hello, Janet Alvarez. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. So I wanted to go through this article with you that came out the day after, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, after Levin did this act on, it looked like Capitol Hill, right? Okay. The title, it comes from the Times of Israel. It's called Progressive Democrats Introduce Bill They Say Aims at Keeping the Two-State Solution Alive. It's a bill which would widely bar use of U.S. defense aid in territories. Barring U.S. defense aid faces an uphill battle, but moderate Democrat groups call it counterproductive. And this is a surprise to me. They say it's a bad policy because it asks nothing of the Palestinians. So the bill is already looking one-sided, where the Palestinians can get what they want, but Israel will have to give up some things, like their land. All right. The article says a group of progressive pro-Israel, they say they're pro-Israel Democrats, but again, it just also said in the same article that it asked nothing of the Palestinians, but they want to go off as pro-Israel. Introduced a comprehensive piece of legislation on Thursday aimed at keeping alive the dimming prospects for a two-state solution to Israel's conflict with the Palestinians, which is odd because Abbas has shown interest in, ever since Biden got back in office, because he really hated Trump, okay? And decided to keep and even expand the Abraham Accords with like more people joining in, more countries. But they say it's a dimming prospect, but yet there's something going on with it every single week in the back news about them working towards this. Okay, there's always something in the front. There's always something like the cootie stick or some disaster like a hurricane that makes it easier for it to stay in the background. But for them to say dimming prospects, I don't know about that. It just seems like they're trying to tell you, but they're like, don't worry. But this is happening. A two-state solution act, really? introduced by Representative, or yeah, I guess that's what it means, REP Rep Andy Levin, with over a dozen co-sponsors, aims to preserve conditions for and improve the likelihood of a two-state solution that secures, for security reasons obviously, that secures Israel's future as a democratic state and a national home for the Jewish people, a viable democratic Palestinian state. However, it faces battle to become law. Well, I hope so. And, if they're telling us it's going to have a hard time, maybe we won't pay so much attention to it, so it'll be easier, right? We won't worry about it so much because it's probably not going to happen, right? Well, I think we should definitely pay attention. The bill is strongly opposed by more moderate Democrats who say it demands nothing of the Palestinians. If passed, the bill orders the U.S. government to take a series of steps aimed at limiting Israeli entrenchment in the West Bank. And this is where it really starts getting into some of these details, okay? Because Abbas wants that West Bank. And that is really what it just keeps seeming like it hinges on sometimes, all right? Like he's just really interested in getting back what they lost in the last, what was it, that 7-day war back in the day? They want that back. It's their ego is wounded. Let's check the comments super fast. Thank you, Paula. God bless you, girl. Love you, girl. Yes, the truth. It is time. We've got to watch. Thank you. Everything y'all do helps so much. Awesome. Okay, let's get back to the article. Okay. The bill bars U.S. defense aid from use in acts by Israel to expand its control beyond the Green Line through moves such as settlement building, demolitions of Palestinian homes, or evictions of Palestinian residents. It also mandates strict oversight of how Israel spends the defense assistance. So we'll give you money, but we're also going to give you rules on how you spend it. The legislation says the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, see, they want to divide Jerusalem too, and the Gaza Strip, are all occupied territories and should be referred to as such in all official U.S. policies, documents, and communications. Israel captured those areas in the 1967 Six-Day War and later annexed East Jerusalem. Israel withdrew from the Gaza Strip in 2005, handing over control to the Palestinian Authority, which was ousted in 2007 from the coastal enclave in a bloody coup by the Hamas terror group that still rules the Strip. Israel regards all of Jerusalem as its capital. Former U.S. President Donald Trump recognized Jerusalem as the capital. Going down, there's, there's of course some heat going against it. But said group CEO Mark Mellman in a statement said, this one-sided two-state solution act seems less about actually achieving a two-state solution and more about rewriting history, both ancient and modern, and stirring up anti-Israel hostility, which I totally agree with. The bill also, there's a lot in this bill, also seeks to reverse a 2020 Trump administration directive requiring goods made in Israeli settlements to be marked as made in Israel. So they want to take that back away. So I guess they want back little tags to say made in Palestine is what they want, is what I'm assuming they want. Oh, Taco. I will let Taco know. Yeah, the kitties are napping right now. They still suck their little paws, their little thumbs. Okay, exit out of that ad. I don't want to see that. Okay, yeah. Okay, they also want to advance the Lowry Fund passed by Congress last year, setting aside $250 million in funding for the Israeli-Palestinian dialogue programs and Palestinian business development. The Two-State Solution Act urges the State Department to authorize grants to support human rights, democracy. Okay, but later on, they do address, yes, it says that they do have a hurdle. The legislation says the U.S. should encourage the PA Palestinians to reform its so-called pay-to-slay practice of providing regular stipends to security prisoners and families of dead terrorists through its welfare program, which they probably won't agree to that because they consider those people martyrs and people that just paid their way into heaven, paradise, as they would call it. So it's funny because this article says that, the Rep. Levin unveiled the legislation. Okay. That's so funny. On the anniversary of Revelation 12, which is about Israel, at least in part, it's definitely directed about Israel. And here he is on that verse. It's almost like spit right in God's eyes. Can you imagine the white knuckles Father must have right now? I mean, right now, he must be just livid. Because I know how he was acting when he told me about this in the first place. He does not like people messing with Israel and trying to divide it. Not Israel, not part of it, not Jerusalem. He gave it to Israel, and nobody's supposed to take that part. But because everybody's going to, gang up and everything, it's event. That doesn't see that. What that always means for us is we're going to pay. We're going to have more disasters on the way where we could have flourished. We're going to start diminishing. And then you look around at all of the things that are happening to the United States economy and shipping, and it's getting wrecked. It's just getting wrecked. What's going on behind the scenes? That's the whole Israel. They said at the beginning of Biden's administration, "Oh, I don't really have time for all this," but that is really what's been going on in his administration, the entire presidency. And you don't hear much about that. And the UN said something about it the other day, too, because some other YouTube channel was talking about it. Welcome, crazy. Germany, APM, bad earthquake today in Crete. Yeah. And, there have been people that had talked about that eventually there's going to be an earthquake in Israel. And that Greece earthquake, it's in the Mediterranean Sea, and it's awfully close to Israel. Awfully close. I'm like, because I'm pretty sure the Bible did say something about there being a great earthquake or something going on eventually in the last days with Israel, right? Does anybody remember? It was a 6.0 with several aftershocks. And it started like 1 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time here in Texas. Two-state solution is a death warrant for America. Crazy says that's absolutely right. God will rip our country apart if we, and for some reason we have a big part in this too. Or I imagine if the United States, it wouldn't be getting the flack that it is and will be getting. I used to live in El Paso for 3 years, living in Germany now. Army sent me here years ago. Oh, goodness. How is it in Germany? I hope the food is better in Germany than it is in England. No offense, England, but I'm not really into pork and beans for breakfast. And other things. It's just different oils they cook with. But, yeah, how's the food in Germany? Bible speaks of Damascus ruined, true beginning of the end. Yeah, they did downgrade that earthquake. You're right about that. Crazy. Yeah. And I think they even tried to get it even lower to like a 5.8, but nobody's going to believe that. Yeah. So they all, conveniently also want to stay very involved with the two-state solution and stick with the Abraham Accords at the same time. Now, this is where things get kind of weird. It's almost like a smoke and mirrors almost, right? Like Frustrated Abbas, this is another title to an article, right? Says that one state solution could be the alternative, okay? Now, when you're negotiating, and I mean really in negotiating, right? You don't just go for what you ask for. You want to ask for a little bit more, right? So in order for maybe him to make sure that he gets what he wants and that Israel has to give up what he wants for there to be peace and security in the future for everyone involved, then he would have to highball them and say, well, I could get the whole state It could be a one-state solution where we take over the world, kind of thing. But it's also like a negotiating tactic, but he's still negotiating. He's still doing that. Like when you buy a house, there's that high ball, low ball, and somewhere y'all meet in the middle. That's what this is. The food is great. Schnitzel, wurst, Turkish kebabs, and are common. Spatzel tastes good too. Yeah, I love schnitzel. Okay, yep, yum. Yep, I agree with you, Paula. All right, I know I'm getting something to eat after this live stream. I want to get a air fryer because they're talking about oils, like cooking oils going short too, not just your gas and petroleum. I'm like, I need an air fryer. I need it. I know my solar generator can handle that air fryer. If I don't have any oil and I want some fried chicken, well, I can fry it. So yeah, okay. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to be talking about food right now. Y'all, I love food. Okay, so let's check out what this article says about frustrated Abbas and the one-state solution he's looking at. Abbas accused Israel on Friday of destroying the two-state solution with actions he said could lead Palestinians to demand equal rights with one binational state comprising Israel, the occupied West Bank, and Gaza. Okay, and this is a pre-recorded message from September 24th, and the day after the Two-State Solution Act was offered up by the United States. And it's from the Arab Weekly is a report. But you got to get your information. The Arab Weekly is saying that, and they're saying, oh, well, this is the kind of news they're putting out. Well, maybe we should just look for a one-state solution. But here's the thing. This is how I know that they're using it as a negotiation tactic instead of an actual real thing, because everything that we've learned as Christians is that they seek to divide it. There's never any prophecy or even a vision that eventually this becomes a one-state solution. So the negotiation is actually for dividing Israel. Oh, bless your heart, K King. Welcome, welcome. Healing my diabetes. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Addressing the UN. See, I told you the UN is involved in this. General Assembly via video link from the West Bank. Abbas urged countries to act to save the two-state formula that for decades has been the bedrock of diplomacy for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Abbas said Israel was destroying the prospect of a political settlement based on the two-state solution through its settlements. Okay? But see, here's the thing. They're always offering him up stuff, but he always says no. And again, this article comes back to Israel captured the West Bank. East Jerusalem. That's what happens with war, okay? The spoils of war. You think if somebody invades American soil, they're going to be feeling sorry for us because we lost what we had? No. They're going to be like, we're here to get what you got. They're not going to feel sorry for it. That's war. That's how it's always happened. But some people don't forget, okay? Hello, Purple. All right. So let's see what the last couple of paragraphs say. They say it's probably not viable. U.S. President Joe Biden reiterated his support for the two-state solution during his own UN address on Tuesday. So see, this was going on all last week, saying it would ensure Israel's future as a Jewish democratic state, living in peace, alongside a viable and democratic Palestinian state, and security under the name of peace they will destroy. Wonderfully. So will the Antichrist, right? And peace and security, we're going to get, in the name of it anyway, we're all going to pay for this, aren't we? Okay. So yeah, all this week we've had La Palma Islands going off. We've had other volcanoes start going off, and in the middle of the same week, okay? And now they're saying prepare for winter. And I know we've heard dark winter before, but look, I'm telling you, the grid is not going to be what it should be for some reason this winter. I think there are going to be multiple problems overall with power. For it could be tsunamis, it could be blizzards, it could be tornadoes, it could be rifts opening up and swallowing up your power plant. I'm just saying, maybe lockdowns, people can't get to work. I don't know, but I'm telling you, they're talking about how brutal also weather-wise that this winter is going to be, which is why I just thought it was so important for those who can get solar, those little solar battery generators, an inverter, I guess is what they're really called, and a Mr. Buddy heater. Okay. And they've got a little fitting that you can put on a big propane tank, put that fitting on, put the little can, if you've emptied a canister for that Mr. Buddy heater, you put it on the other end, turn that big one upside down, and pull that, turn that valve, and the propane refills these canisters. I'm pretty sure I even did a video on that a year or so ago back, refilling your propane canisters, and it'll keep you warm. Okay, it'll keep lights on in the house. It'll keep you able to watch the news and get those critical updates that you need, and even communicate with each other. All right, so prepare for winter. And whatever happens, I just want y'all to remember, even if we hit that grave in these last days and they've been in part of war, we're not going to be in it that long. We're honestly going to be in the grave less time than any other centuries of our ancestors have ever. They've been there all this time. We're going to be in and out with our glorified bodies up to God. So really, there's just not a whole lot. Death can't even be victorious over us as long as we are in Christ and we are steadfast in believing in our God, who is warning us about these things and saying, hey, I don't like this is happening. Y'all need to stop this. If you don't, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, this is coming for you. Everybody else, my kids, I need y'all to be prepared. Be ready, because this is coming down the pike. This is our Father. He's a father. Parents have rules. He's also like a judge. A judge follows the law. And if you break the law, that's a crime. If you're bad, your parents punish you. That bad is sin. Okay, and there are some sins that require immediate spankings. You understand? And it's not like parents don't try to warn you. It's not like the law wasn't written and posted for everyone to see clearly before the event. No. Okay? Yeah, he loves us. But a parent who loves you, really loves you, will correct you. And in some cases, let you have it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what a father does. And he is a father. He has laws. And we need to start abiding by those laws, even the smallest ones. Let's check the chat real quick. Sorry, I had an itch on my back. Evil leaders. Okay. I did that this last tragic winter. Text gave me a terrible headache. That Mr. Buddy. Yes, that Mr. Buddy. It was one Mr. Buddy. For my RV, was enough to keep our RV warm. We did also turn on like the stove propane, and it's not the best thing to do, but it was really cold. But it's still enough to keep you from freezing to death. Okay. Now they've got this one thing for the Mr. Buddy heaters. It's like you hook it onto the propane tank, and it's a hose, and it goes into the Mr. Buddy heater for more continuous gas flow. Because I think the canisters really only last 2 to 4 hours, something like that. So you do have to get up in the middle of the night and change out the canisters, unless you have that one thing. They've been leaving a lot of lines in the sky over here in their planes. They've been doing that where I'm at too, here in Texas, from what we were seeing, Huntsville to North Houston. Hello, Dan, sweetie. So good to see you. Hello, Jenks for Jesus. We're dead to the law. We're not under the law anymore, lest any man should boast. We're all under law. We're all under the law. Everybody has, listen, I don't know what law you're talking about, but we're definitely not, we're ordered not to murder people or lie or bear false witness against our neighbors. Those are laws. We're not supposed to touch Israel. We're not supposed to blaspheme the Holy Ghost. There are laws. And we have to be aware of that and not trick ourselves into thinking that we're not going to be punished, because we will. The law of Moses. Okay, everyone has to prepare. Very important. Germany stores stocked up. Yeah, the stores around here where I'm at, the shortages finally started hitting. Okay, we are seeing those shortages. And I'm just like, it's like you can just still feel that clock ticking down. It's like I can feel that urgency and that stress. But I know that I've worked really, really hard to get myself to where I am right now. And the rest, I believe in, but I believed to get this far anyway. All right. I wanted to make this a shorter video today, but it was just important that y'all all realize, that they're trying to hide it, but I see them. And I'm going to tell that they're doing this. Oh my goodness, where do you think they all came after World War II? These government MK Ultra projects, these scientists were on those projects from Germany. Go figure, right? Yeah, it's true. Lots of chemtrails here in in Central Texas too, huh? The car industry is missing computer chips, bad for production. Lumber's getting harder to get. Everything. I mean, soda water, Walmart soda water. I don't drink it because I don't like how it tastes. But still, it's the point is it's another thing gone, ticking down the list. So whatever you got to get it now. I love y'all. Share these videos. Definitely hit like. I love your comments. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.